We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Bam.
The first episode of Quantum Leap Season 2 is upon us, and you know I gotta break it down. This episode's called This Took Too Long. Let's get cracking. So the leap home didn't exactly work, obviously, or else the show would have probably been over, but this time around, Ben has found himself in a military plane flying somewhere over Russia in the late 70s, carrying precious cargo. Nobody knows what's inside, but everybody wants it, including the Russians who shot down the plane, leaving the crew stranded, never knowing if they'd make it home. So this episode, it leaves a few things up in the air as far as questions that you had after that finale last year. I'm pretty sure answering questions was probably the last thing on its mind though, as it probably wanted to have more of an explosive season opener, which it did. Literally, there's lots of explosions going on in this episode, but past that, there's also quite an obvious theme or message in the episode felt by everybody, which was, will I ever get back home? After all, not only did Ben not return home, not only did these soldiers get shot down in the middle of nowhere in enemy territory nonetheless, not knowing if they're going to be returning home, but Ben also had no contact with Addison or the rest of the team throughout this episode. He was on his own for whatever reason. Now, I started having theories almost immediately while watching this episode, which made me happy because that brought me all the way back to the first season when theories would pour in constantly. Now, I was hedging bets with myself that the precious cargo that they were carrying in the plane, this government secret that nobody knew what it was, but they were theorizing alien warfare or retrieved Nazi inventions, I was personally sure had something to do with the machinery that would eventually be worked into the first rendition of Ziggy. I would have put money on that. I would have also put money on the leader of this team. That woman was some kind of ancestor to Addison because they both acted similarly and they had the same love of their country, and yet I would have lost money on both of those bets. Neither turned out to be true. I still think that both of those ideas would have probably made the episode better all around, but alas, they were decoys, the cargo was a box of bricks, and that was about that for the extent of the episode. Oh well. Now the episode goes a bit over the top, especially in the way that they deactivate the landmine that they run into. Oh yeah, we'll all just jump on this landmine, one person at a time, each person slightly less in weight than the last person, and at the end we'll just throw a few bags of sand on it, like an Indiana Jones, and that should do it. We should all come out alive. Yeah. Right, as if the first person who jumps off the landmine wouldn't blow it up right then and there, killing everybody around it. Suspension of disbelief, right? I guess. In general, the explosiveness of this episode and the theme of being abandoned without a clear path to return home was decent, albeit mostly a safe one, I'd wager. At the end of the episode, you discover 3 things. The first thing was that Ben not only didn't leave home, he's been missing for 3 years. He's been presumed dead because of it. That's the second thing that you find out. They buried him. The third thing that you learn is that the Quantum Leap project has since been shut down. We know very little more than that, leaving the door open to yet another vast range of questions this season. Why did he vanish for 3 years? Why didn't he return home? I could have sworn at the very end of the first season somebody was showing back home in the accelerator, but we don't know who. Was that Ben right before he was shot right back inside? Was it somebody else? What's the team been doing in the last 3 years? If Quantum Leap has shut down, who's in control of the now defunct project? And why is Ian randomly taking a tour in the hologram room after 3 years? Seriously. I need your guys' input and theories on what you think's going on in the comment section down below. And also, do you think that this might be the season to bring back Sam? Is that just a fool man's dream? Only time will tell. And I'll catch you next week for Quantum Leap Season 2, Episode 2. But until then, peace out.